This is the souk in the center of Tunis. This is where Tunisian rapper Wajdi Mascott grew up. He developed his enthusiasm for rap here in the hustle and bustle of the city, long before the Arab Spring. The 30-year-old rapper loves this music. He even gave up his studies for it.
Rap chose me, I didn't choose it. Because back then, I didn't know I'd decide to be a rapper, that I'd drop everything for the world of rap. There are lots of cafes here, like this one, where we'd sit and talk. We'd write lyrics, and we didn't have any money. We'd tap on the tables with our fingers to get the beat we wanted to write to.
Nowadays, Wajdi Mascott, whose real name is Wajdi Trabelsi, records his music in his own production studio. To be able to do that, he went into debt, rented a house, turned it into a studio, and hired employees for his productions. They're fellow musicians, and he goes on rap tours to the interior of the country with them. Like this one, a concert in southern Tunisia.
That was in Douze. Look at that sincerity. That was an unforgettable moment. The people there spontaneously sang along with me. It was the best reward possible.
The theater on Avenue Habib Bourguiba was one of the centers of the uprising against former President Ben Ali. Wajdi and his friends often reminisce here about the protests and the time when their rap songs became popular.
When there was no political opposition, when there were no organized trade unions, rap was the means of expression. Rappers tried to reveal what was going on in secret. They brought to light what the government was trying to cover up. They brought to light the injustices against the Tunisian people.
Wajdi says rap is now reaping the rewards for its decades of clandestine work. That's due in part to Lilia Labidi. She's a professor of psychology and anthropology, who's also the country's Minister of Women's Affairs. She's organized lots of performances for the country's artists, including rappers.
These people have helped Tunisia because, I believe, they're among the main movers and shakers of the Tunisian revolution. I find that if you have channeled modes of expression, it's good. If you have violence that's not channeled, that's what's dangerous. So it's wonderful that young people can express their anger in their songs and music.
Rap has been booming in northern Africa since the Arab Spring began. One rapper is even among those responsible for it. El General is one of the young Tunisians who helped spark the revolution. His lyrics rage against the injustice in Tunisia under the old regime.
Now I bear more responsibility. I no longer talk about personal problems, but about collective problems. To do what I do, I have to know what people really want, because they're the ones who will judge me in the end.
Despite the hearty welcome, Wajdi Mascott looks a little envious at the popularity of El General. He's the one who's going to be representing Tunisian rappers this evening at a liberation concert at the ancient Roman amphitheater in Carthage.
I've been rapping since '97, and as successful as I've been, I've never performed in Carthage.
Wajdi has just recorded a new CD, and he wants to be allowed to take part in this evening's performance. Back to everyday life in post-revolutionary Tunis, where people are still waiting for a system of law and order. They complain about police brutality, cronyism, and too little state support. But most of them are familiar with Arab rap.
Some talk about their country, others about suffering and fleeing abroad, or the revolution. It depends on how much the rapper has suffered.
I've never really listened to it. It doesn't interest me.
They talk about reality. In general, they criticize it. They talk about life.
Ils disent des choses de la vie.
In Wajdi's new studio, young rappers between the ages of 17 and 25 from all corners of the country are pushing to get their message across. About a dozen of them have made a name for themselves, most of them since the revolution. One of them is 17-year-old Arabiano. He's right at the beginning of his career, and he wants to produce a professional CD.
Even if you have quantity, you don't necessarily have quality. The success of Tunisian rap is due to the fact that it's produced some really good stuff and some pretty mediocre stuff, and people listen to it anyway. But it doesn't bother anyone.
Wajdi keeps trying to get on the bill at the Hymn to Liberty concert at the Carthage Amphitheater. But he's had no success. Now he's in the audience along with 10,000 other people. He calls this a sign of solidarity. The Minister of Women's Affairs is there too. She had no intention of missing El General's performance. She thinks corruption, unemployment, and the role of women will give rappers in Tunisia plenty to sing about after the revolution as well.